Okay. So in the last session, we uploaded supplier profile and address. These two files we uploaded. I will see supplier sites. So here we have all the templates. So open supplier sites template. Here you can see supplier site import template. Double click. Fine. Go to POZ supplier site int. Click on show additional attributes. We have two sample records. One is enough. Remove one record. Yes, we are going to create the site. And site we are going to create for which supplier. So better we can open that supplier. Address suppliers. So you can go to supplier task. So XYZ supplier FBDI. Right. XYZ supplier FBDI. Search. Click on edit. Just make a note of these names so that we can use the spreadsheet. This is supplier name. Go to addresses. This is address name. If you go to sites, we don't have any sites, right? Okay, no site is available for this supplier. Now we'll go and create. Okay, the BU name also you can make a note. Amex US business unit. Say cancel. Cancel. We are not creating the site from the application. We want to create the site from FBDI template. Okay. Now go to the same template. Here we want to create the site for which supplier. Take the supplier name. Okay. And procurement BU. Provide BU name. And address name. Against which address you want to create the site. Against this address we want to create the site. And what should be the site name? Say we want to give the site name as FBDI, just for our testing purpose. And you can say purchasing is yes, pay site as yes. Verify other columns, communication, email and all not required. Verify all the columns. The reality, if any other information is required, whatever that should be provided by client only. You can share the sheets with them, they can provide the data. Just verify all the columns because we are using the sample record for reference purpose. Done. And we have one more sheet here, third party relationship. Already we tested in the third party payments. We created third party relationship. If you want to, if any supplier has third party relationship with other suppliers, that information we can capture here. That is not required. Already we tested. Let's see just how to load the supplier's data. Third party relationships not required for us now. That's all. Now you can go to instructions on the CSV file generation sheet and say generate CSV file. The file you can save in the same folder. Here, Amex FBDI supplier templates. Save. Okay, save. Save it. Two CSV files because two sheets we have within the template. So CSV and zip file have been created. Say okay. Done. Now we can go to this URL. This URL already I shared yesterday. I placed this URL notepad within the Google Drive itself. Okay. You'll go to import supplier sites. If you want to place this file in the UCM, this is the account we have to use. And by using this job, we can populate the data in the interface tables and we can import the same data into base tables. Okay. Import supplier sites. Okay. Done. Now file is ready. What is the next step? Already we discussed. First we have to download and we have to prepare with the data and we have to create the CSV files. Now we have CSV files ready with us. You can place the files in the UCM but not mandatory. Now you can populate the data in the interface tables. Go to scheduled processes. Tools, scheduled processes. Click on schedule new process. We have a common job. Okay. Find out the job. Load interface file for import. Say okay. Okay. What is the import process name? Here we have that. Okay. The import process name is import supplier sites. Supplier sites information we want to populate in this interface table. These tables, the data will get populated for temporary purpose. Okay, here import process we have to select import supplier sites. Click on search. Import supplier sites. Search. Select. Say OK. And data file. We didn't place data file in the UCM. If you place the data file in the UCM, from here you can pick. But we didn't place. So click on upload a new file. Click on browse. Okay. So here we have that file. So this is a file. POZ supplier sites IRT. Select. Say OK. Submit. Now the data will get populated in the interface tables. Within the file, whatever the data we have that we are trying to populate in the interface tables. Once data is available in interface tables, we can import into base tables by submitting the same job. Okay. Once again, if you run import supplier sites, whatever the data we have in this interface level, in this interface table, the data will be imported to base table. Then you can see the data from payables. So these jobs are completed without an issue, right? Now you can refresh this page navigation. Click on schedule new process. Okay. The job name is import supplier sites. Import supplier sites, select, say okay. Say okay. Click on submit. Just click on refresh to see the job status. Okay, done. Now we can go and find the supplier site against that address. We'll go and check. The supplier name is XYZ supplier FBDI. Okay, now we can see the site for this supplier. Site is created as a FBDI, right? So that's how we provided data within this template. We given site name as FBDI. The same system created. Now just click on edit. Again click on edit. Now this site need to be assigned to our business unit. This site is not at assigned to any BU. So this we can do by using the other template. Okay. Just site is created. This site we have to assign to BU. Just make a note of the site name. Site name is FBDI. Now this site we have to assign to this business unit. We'll see that. This template we can close. Okay, now go to site assignments template, supplier site assignments, import template. Double click. So go to POZ site assignments INT interface. Click on show additional attributes. We need only one record for reference. Remaining sample data you can remove. We know batch ID is not required, not mandatory. The batch ID you can use to group this multiple records, that's all. Now we want to assign the site to business unit. The site is belongs to which supplier? Provide supplier name. Supplier is XYZ supplier FBDI. Which site we want to assign to business unit? Which site? FBDI. And to which business unit we want to assign? Amex USBU. Same you can select as a client as well as bill to. Okay, use withholding tax and all not required. Verify other columns, nothing is mandatory. Now you can generate the CSV file. Save in the same folder. Yes, save the CSV file also. The CSV and zip file have been created. Done. Okay. So the files are ready. We are not going to place in the UCM. Ignore this step. Now directly we can populate the file data in the interface tables. Go to schedule process page. Schedule new process. Okay. The job name you can see here. Import supplier site assignments. The job name is import supplier site assignments. So the master job name is load interface file for import. Say okay. The import process name is this. Okay. What data we are trying to populate in the interface tables, accordingly we have to submit the import process name, that is import supplier site assignments. The sites whatever we have, those we are going to assign to business unit. Right. So import supplier site assignment is the import process name. So click on search. Search for import supplier site assignments. Select, say OK, and select data file. Upload a new file. Browse. Here you can see POZ site assignments. Select this file and say OK. Submit. Now data will get populated in the interface tables. Once this process is completed, we have to import the same into base tables so that you can see the site assignments in the application. Just refresh. Done. You can see the status has succeeded. If anything goes wrong, you can select the same job. Okay, it will generate the log and output file. You can open and you can see what's wrong with that. Accordingly, you can go on to correct in the template, correct the data in the template, again generate the file and submit. That's it. Done. Now data is available in the interface. Now you have to import. Refresh this page navigation. So schedule new processes. Job name is same. Import supplier site assignments. Right, this is a job name. Import supplier site assignments. Say okay. Submit. Okay, done. Now we can go and see as site is assigned to business unit. Click on edit. Click on edit here. Now you can see this FBDI site is assigned to this business unit. Okay, this is what we did with the last template. So that's how we created supplier. Done. So that's all about how to load the supplier's data. And a few points. If you enter the same supplier, now again if you try to create one more supplier with the same name, it could be uppercase or lowercase or anything. System will identify that supplier as a duplicate supplier and it won't allow to create in the application. It will stop at interface table level only. Okay, it won't allow to import. It will validate whether the supplier is already created or not. So if it is already created, it will stop from the creation. So this is how you can load the supplier's data. For now, for testing purpose, we loaded one supplier, one address, one site assignment. The reality, you can just load bulk volume of the data. The same sheet you can share these sheets to the client. They will enter all the suppliers, addresses, site assignments. The same you can load by following the process whatever we have seen just now. The same way you can load invoices. Open invoices means unpaid invoices. In payables, whatever unpaid invoices we have, those we can load into payables application from other systems. At the time of implementation, say client is using some other application. We call it a third party. Before coming to Oracle application, what are the applications client is using? Those we call as third party applications. So in those third party applications, whatever the invoices they have as unpaid, this is all we can move to payables application, those we call as open invoices. Unpaid invoices we call as open invoices. So, the same process. In case of supplier, we have 4 templates for profile, address, site, and site assignment. But when we talk about invoice, we have only one template. Process wise, same, no difference. So process wise, the same process. Download, prepare template with the data, create CSV files, place in the UCM or else you can bypass, and all this is what you can do. Okay. Now we'll go and download the template. So from this page, we downloaded those templates, right? Under supplier model, we downloaded those templates. Now we want to download invoices template. So here you can see the path: cloud applications, procurement, 21D. Now go to cloud applications. Click on cloud applications. Okay, how to come to this page? That URL already we have, right? Now click on financials. Click on all books. Okay, here you can find the templates. Scroll little down under implementation. The implementation you can find the file-based data import for financials. Click on HTML hyperlink. Okay, here you can find all the templates. Now we need template related to payables. Here we have payable section, and here you can find the template called as payable standard invoice import. Click on this link. So if you want to place this file in the UCM account, this is the account we have to use. Fin payables import. But you can bypass this. And from here you can download the template. And this is the import process name. And these are the interface tables which will impact during this process. That means the invoices information will take into these tables, from there will import. So these are the details to understand. Now what we have to do? First we have to download, right? We have to download FBDI template. Let's download. Okay. How we navigated to this page? I just shared one URL, right? This URL is available in the Google Drive also. The same file I placed. Use this URL. Will be landing on this page. Then click on Cloud Applications and select Financials. Click on All Books. Scroll little down. You can find implementation section. Under implementation section, we have file-based data import for financials. Click on HTML hyperlink. Now scroll little down here. Under payable section, okay, we have payable standard invoice import template link. Click on that. And from here, you can download this template. Okay, payable standard invoice import template. Right click, say save link as. Okay, say save link as. Save it. Okay, done. Now go to the same template, the same folder we save. Here is the template, payables and invoice import template. Open. Here you can find lot of sample data. Okay. So Oracle is providing lot of sample data within this template. We can remove. See, AP invoice interface here. Too much data they given. Just one record is enough for reference purpose. All other invoices records you can remove. A lot of sample data Oracle is providing. Except one record, all other records you can remove. Around 1000 records they provided, you can remove. And go to AP invoice lines interface. Here also you can find a lot of sample data. Except one, you can remove all the records. Okay. So invoices itself around 1000, they just 1000 invoices sample data they given. Here lines means there will be multiple records. So you can remove all this. Just for sample purpose they are providing. Okay. Just to see and understand how the data can be prepared, they are providing many sample records. Those you can remove. So the lines they are given in thousands, I guess. Let's see how many records they given. So 9,000, around 10,000 records. You can remove except one line. Done. Okay, just for reference, we have only one invoice and one line information. Invoice means header information. Done. So invoice ID. Invoice ID, during this import process only system will use. Don't think this ID it will store in the database. No. That during this import process only system will use this ID. Any ID you can give. I want to give ID as a one. You want to create invoice for which business unit? Okay. Which business unit? You have to provide the BU name. I think BU name is available here. So to this BU. Okay, against this BU, we want to create the invoice. Let's close this site assignments. So take BU name. Source, from where you are going to bring the data. By default, it is external, you can accept. If you want to create, if you are going to bring data from some third-party application, the third-party application name you have to create in the payables, that name you have to select. That means supply invoices data you are going to bring from which system, that system name you have to write. Now you can accept external. Okay, could be any system, just external. This name is already available in the system. If you are bringing the data from ABC application, the ABC application name you have to create in our payables, then you can select ABC application here. Okay, whatever the source name you are giving here, that should be available in the payables first. This is there already. Now here you can enter the invoice number. I want to give invoice number as FBDI 123. Enter invoice amount, say $6,000. Invoice date. Place the cursor and you can see the format. Year, month and date. Okay, year, Okay, year, month and date. Year 2021, month is December, date is 11. Here you see here, year, month and date. Place the cursor on this. What is the format we have to follow? Year in 4 digits, month in 2 digits, date in 2 digits. Year, okay, month and date, yes. Supplier name. You want to create invoice against which supplier. To take those details, better we can go to invoice creation page. Go to task list, so create invoice. We are not going to create invoice in this page just to take the details. We are here. MXIMC, you can copy. Supplier name. Supplier site, supplier number. Here is the supplier number. And supplier site. Against which site we want to create invoice. This invoice and payment currencies are same. You can accept description. You may write optional. Description is optional. You may write the description like this invoice created using FBDI template. You may write the description. The import set and all not mandatory. If you have multiple invoices, to group multiple invoices, you can use it. Say you have 100 invoices. You want to group those 100 into 2 sets. So first 50 invoices you can give one name. Remaining 50 you can give the different name. That's how you can group them with import set. It is not mandatory. Ignore it. What invoice we are going to create? Standard invoice. This legal entity and all not mandatory. Once system will identify this business unit, automatically system will derive the legal entity. So legal entity is not mandatory. If you want to provide, you can provide. But completely optional. Based on the BU, automatically system can derive the legal entity. So payment terms, which payment terms we want to use? This payment terms you want to use, or else immediate already this BU got access, right? Immediate also this BU got access. Okay. You can accept the same or you can change. Term date. Okay. Term date, same date. Invoice creation date, you can take as the term date. Okay. So year, month, and the date. Month is December. Date level. You just verify the date format. Make sure that you are just providing the correct format. Otherwise, it will fail. Okay, year, month, and the date. The same date you can take as accounting date. Okay. The payment method you can accept check. Pay group is you can keep pay group standard so that for this invoice system will take pay group as standard. Else you can ignore. Pay alone is not required for this. Verify other columns. Liability account. So whenever you create invoice, automatically system will take the liability account at header level, right? What is the liability account code combination? you may provide, otherwise system will take it. System can take, or else you can provide here. All this null, there is no information that you can remove those values. Verify all the columns. Done. So we provided invoice header information in this sheet. Now go to AP invoice lines interface. The line information what we are going to create, this is for which invoice? With ID only you can map. So for this invoice we want to create the line. How system will identify the line is belongs to with this invoice, related to this invoice with invoice ID only. The same ID you have to enter so that system will understand this line for that invoice. Equal 1. It's very important. We are mapping this invoice header with a line with invoice ID only. Whatever the ID you have in the invoice, the same ID you have to take in the line if the line is belongs to same invoice. If you create one more invoice called as 222, if you are creating the lines for the 222 invoice, line level you have to give 222. That's how you can map header with the lines. Right. Invoice ID we are selecting same ID. This will be mapped. Now the amount what we entered in the header level 6,000. Okay, 6,000. Verify the columns. Here you can provide distribution account or distribution set. We are not going to save this invoice, just for information purpose we are here. If you enter invoice lines, you can enter incomplete. Okay. So let's use this distribution set. When you use the distribution set, distribution combination is not required. Remove this. The accounting date you can provide. So what is the format? Year, month and date. Okay, year, month and date. Month December. Date is 11. Verify all the columns. No withholding tax. Okay, done. Now this is how you can create a number of invoices. Yeah. Now you can go to instructions on the CSV generation sheet and generate CSV file. Say generate CSV file. Save in the same folder. The sheet name, the template, the file name is AP invoice import. Save in the same folder. CSV file it is generating, say yes. Again say yes, save. So CSV and the zip file have been created, say okay. Done. Now what is the next step? CSV files are created. If you want to place in the UCM, you can place in the UCM. But in which account you have to place, that information you have here. But not mandatory, right? If you place that file in the UCM, anyone can access who got access to that instance. Otherwise, you can directly place the instance during this process. So now we'll go with this direct step. No need to place on the UCM. You can bypass this step. Already we have seen how to place. Now you can populate the data in the interface tables. Okay, cancel this. Just to take the data we are here. Go to tools, schedule processes. Say schedule new process. What is the job name? There is a common job called as load interface file for import. It could be invoices data, suppliers data, customers data, the sales invoice data, any data. The common job is load interface file for import. Based on the data, we have to select the sub job. Say okay. So what data we are trying to import, accordingly, we have to select the import process name. Okay. The common job for any data, the common job is load interface file for import. Again, which data you are trying to load into interface, accordingly, how to select the import process name. For invoices, what is the import process name? Import payables invoices. Okay. When you run this import payable invoices, the data whatever we have in that file, that would be populated in these two interface tables. Okay, import payables invoices. Import payables invoices is the job name. Search, select, say OK, and select the data file. We didn't place any file in the UCM. Okay, these are placed by someone else. Just click on upload a new file. Click on browse. In this folder, we have that file. Here is the file. AP invoice import. Select and say OK. Click on submit. Say OK. Refresh. Okay. Now data is in these interface tables. Now we have to import the data into base tables. Refresh this page navigation. Click on schedule new process. What process we have to use? Import payables invoices. Okay, import payables invoices, select and say okay, click on OK. Now within that sheet, okay, what source we given? External, right? The same we have to select. With this source only we created invoice. Select external. The rest of information you can accept as this. Say submit. Now from this interface tables, data will be imported to base tables and you can see that information as invoice information. If anything wrong, it will just end with error or warning. Okay, what are the invoices are imported? It is generating the report also. Now you can check the report too. Scroll little down, click on republish, click on this gear icon, export, select PDF. Say save file. Open the file. Now you can see one invoice is imported. Invoice number FBDI 123, amount is 6,000. Supplier is MXINC. This is what we did, right? Now the same you can go and find in the invoice workbench. Okay, so this is invoice imported. Source is external. And we written the description also, right? This invoice created using FBDI template, the same you can see here. You can just open that invoice by clicking on invoice number. You know, once invoice is created, what we have to do? We have to validate, you may account it, you can process the payment based on the payment terms. So invoice is validated. This is a distribution set we just provided within the template. Yeah. Now, we have to understand few points. Okay. This is supplier interface. So you prepared one file with the 10 suppliers and you place that file in the interface, you load it. Okay, you load it and you are trying to import into base tables. System is showing some issues with those records. So in that case, you don't need to, there is no option you can go to correct the data within the interface level. Okay, you just loaded few records into interface table and when you are trying to import into base table, system is saying whatever the data is available in the interface tables, something wrong with that. It is giving some message. In that case, you cannot go and correct the data in the interface table level. Again, you have to go to the same file. Within that same file, which records, okay, as per report, you have to correct these records and again you have to resubmit. But when you talk about invoices, okay, when you talk about invoices, say that 10 invoices you loaded into interface table, and when you are trying to import it to base tables, it is showing some issue. In that case, you can go to interface tables and you can correct at interface table level. Okay, you can correct data at interface table level, which is not possible in case of suppliers. When you are loading the suppliers, when data is available in the interface table level or interface within the interface tables, If anything wrong during the import process, you cannot go and correct. But for invoices, that flexibility we have. Okay, for invoices, the flexibility we have. When we have a data in interface table level, when you are trying to say you loaded data, 10 records you placed, you populated here. You are trying to import. With the 2 records, something is wrong. System will generate the report. Output file it will generate. So 8 records are able to import, 2 records are pending in the interface table because of so and so issues. Those records you can go and correct and import. That is not possible for supplier, possible for invoices. How to correct it, we'll see. Say for example, we populated data in the interface table, and when we are trying to import it to base tables, so out of 10, say 8 are imported, 2 are not imported, and the report will generate the output file with the issues. So now what you can do is you can go to that interface tables. Go to task list. Here we have task called as correct import errors. If you want to navigate to this correct import errors, the ADFDI files need to be installed in our system. Already we installed. Okay, if you are going to connect to this correct import error, system will look for ADFDI installation. That already we done. Now we can connect. Just click on correct import errors. Say save file. Okay. There is a file. Double click. Say connect. Amex. Skip. Now you can see the interface level. These many issues, these many invoices we have with the different issues. Okay. These are not belongs to our business units. You can see BU information. These BUs created invoices. Okay, here what we can do is you can click on search. You can search for specific business unit from this page. 1 second. You can give the BU name and you can verify the BU related invoices are stuck in the interface table level. But anyway, now we have very limited information directly you can see here. This BU is related. What's the issue with these invoices? Why these got stuck in the interface level? Why these are not able to import into payables? So invalid payment method. The payment method what they selected, that is invalid. You can verify what payment we have in this. So there is no payment method. No payment method is selected. The same if you see this invoice, duplicate invoice number. Okay, the invoice number what they are using is a duplicate one. What is invoice number they are using? FSL one. Here the same number is there for other invoice also. That is the reason this became duplicate. Okay. The line rejection. The line level there is some issue. Here we have line relevant one. Well, okay. What is the issue here? Accounting date not in open period. Whatever the accounting date they give it in invoice, the period is not open. So this is how you can find the issues. Say for example, duplicate invoice number. So I think this is our BU, our invoice, okay, created within our BU. In that case, you can just go on to change directly. After changing, you can just say save and to submit. Of course, this is not our invoice, but just we are trying to understand how to correct and how to proceed. Click on save and submit invoice import. Say okay. Say okay. That is which BU related. Okay. Further source is what they given source as a spreadsheet. That's all. You can correct like that and you can just provide these parameters. Say okay. Now here you can see the status against that row updated successfully. Okay. FSL double two. To find out this BU, sorry. Then you can check like this. Still any invoice are available with this business unit here, then you can find. Okay. Do you find that invoice which we updated? Now it is not available. Okay. Earlier there was some issue with the invoice number duplicate. The number we corrected. Now this invoice is not available here. That is imported. Okay, that is imported. You can go and see also. Can you see that invoice is here? Earlier it was stuck in interface level because invoice number duplication. We just corrected. We corrected and it is imported. Yeah. So this is how you will be able to correct any data the interface level. Okay, interface level we can correct. This is applicable only for invoices, not for suppliers. Okay. This is only for invoices, not for suppliers. Done. Okay. So that's all about how to load the suppliers data. Okay. We discussed about how we can load the suppliers under invoices.
Lakshman, you mentioned that you will show how to query through a SQL query?
Yeah, I'll show. There is a concept here I'm going to deal with
Okay.
how to write SQL query.
Okay, then we'll wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if there are more than one line and each line has got a VAT and withholding tax?
Where?
In the invoice distributions,
Okay.
we give one line you have shown. Suppose if there are more than one line, like 3 lines, 4 lines, like that,
You can enter same in the template level, whenever you want.
and also if there is a VAT and withholding tax on that, VAT is to be added and withholding tax is to be deducted. What are the site level we have assigned to the supplier? Will they be automatically taken into consideration?
Yes, exactly. So when whatever the information you are providing in the sheets, system will validate during the import. It will validate. Say you have supplier information, site information, etc. You provided in the sheet, and it will come up to interface level. From interface, when you are trying to import, if those details are available in the system, then only the data can be imported. It won't allow just because it is there in the interface. So that's what system will do the validations. For that sites and supplier, whatever it is applicable, that system will make a note for the record. The moment you submit for validation, those all will be triggered. Yeah.
We don't need to give the rates. We don't need to give the rates in the line level.
No.
It will take from the system.
You know need to give. If you provide at site level, it depends like which tax you are dealing. Say withholding tax. So how system is calculated withholding tax? The moment you submit for validation, right? So it may be that you may create through manual process, or you might have imported from this FBDI template, or it may be from other source, doesn't matter. When you click on validate, for that supplier side, if the tax is applicable, it will calculate. Or else you have a practice of calculating withholding tax based on the site level. Some other tax also you want to add, you have a practice of adding through manual process, then you add it. Add through manual process that line level or any other level. Then you can just click on validate. Anyway, withholding tax will be calculated based on the setup. Other tax, whatever manual you are adding, accordingly it will calculate. That's all.
We can assign only one value at the site level, either for the VAT or withholding tax. What if each line has a different tax, VAT and withholding tax? Can we give in the line level while exporting the data?
You have to go with a localization solution. Okay, country localization will support different tax rules and calculations. Okay, now what we tested, that is just very basic tax calculation, which is withholding. Apart from that, if you have different taxes based on the country, you will have additional setups. Okay, you can just specify what tax, how many taxes, for which line type, what tax, etc. Everything you can set up.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Fine. Fine. Now see the concept called as custom roles. Okay. Before we proceed with the custom roles, let's talk about the roles here. Okay. First, we'll see what are the role types we have. Role types. We have a different role types like job roles, duty roles, data roles, abstract roles. These are the different types you can find in the Fusion. So job roles already we have seen. In GL and AP we have seen job roles. For example, the job role is accounts payable manager. Accounts payable manager or accounts payable specialist or accounts payable supervisor is all we call as job roles. What does it mean by duty role? Inside of the job role, what we have, those we call as a duty role. For example, within the accounts payables manager job role, we have few duty roles like invoice creation, payment creation. This is how we have a duty roles. What does it mean by data role? If you assign business unit to this role that we call as data role. Say if you map business unit with accounts payables manager role, or you can take example. In GL we have a general accounting manager role. To general accounting manager, if you assign primary ledger, that combination we call as data role. The job roles are specific to application. Could be GL or AP or AR roles. Duty roles always will be part of the job role. Okay, duty roles are part of the job roles. Data roles means the combination of job role and business unit, or it could be primary ledger. Abstract roles are something like common roles. The best example for abstract role is employee or line manager. These are related to HCM roles. Say you have 100 employees in the organization. 100 employees are working for different departments. The 100 employees are working for which department? Accordingly, we have to assign the job roles to 100 employees. But irrespective of the employees working for which department, you have to assign the role called as employee so that they will get self-service access, so that they can apply for leaves, they can enter the time cards, they can access their payslip and other payroll and HR related information. They can go and update wherever they are permitted. So that we call as a abstract role. Abstract role is nothing but common role. The best example for abstract role is employee role. So these are the points we have to understand. So yes, in the latest versions we have a job roles and duty roles. But when you talk about this data roles, Oracle completely stopped data roles concept. In the older versions, what happens is whenever you create the business unit, automatically business unit will get assigned to all the payables, receivables, application related roles. In our classes, we have seen we assign AP roles to user. To AP role and user, we assigned our business unit. But in the older versions, whenever you create your primary ledger, the primary ledger will get assigned to GL roles automatically. Whenever you create the business unit can get assigned to AP, receivables, and other application roles automatically. That concept we call as data roles. With that, we have many issues. The clients faced many issues. What happens is even system assigns the business unit to any one of the BU specific roles. The data link is not establishing properly. That is the reason Oracle removed this data roles concept completely. And now we have job roles, duty roles, which are very primarily. And abstract role, just to understand, there is a role type. which we can use as a common role for every user you may assign wherever it is applicable. And very primary role is job role. Duty roles you can see inside of the job role. We'll go and see those in the today's session. So this is what we have to understand. If you are from EBS background, I want to give a note. So fine. So this job role is equal to EBS main menu. Okay. This duty role. Okay. The duty role is equal to EBS submenu. And this data role is equal to EBS responsibility plus your primary ledger or operating unit assignment. Okay, this combination we call as data. Abstract or nothing. We don't have anything over there. So these are the points we have to understand. Okay, if we compare with EBS, in Fusion, whatever you find job roles, those are equal to EBS main menu. Okay, in EBS, directly you cannot assign main menu to any user. But in the Fusion, equal to main menu, they introduce the job roles. Job roles can be assigned to the user. So submenus we have. Submenus we cannot use in the responsibility in EBS. Okay, against the submenu, you have to create main menu. That only you can include within the responsibility. That's how you can access. Here also, duty roles you cannot assign to any user. If you want to use any duty role, against the duty role, you have to create the job role. That means the duty role you have to convert as a job role. Then only you can assign to the user. The data roles in the older versions we have in the Fusion, the latest version completely removed. Okay, up to release 10 we have a data roles. From 11, 12, now 13. The data roles concept they completely removed since there are many issues the data role creation in the automation process. So now that is equal to EBS responsibility and assigning primary ledger and operating unit, that is equal to data roles. Abstract roles, there is nothing in EBS. This is just role which commonly we use for almost all the employees. The abstract role best example is employee role. There is a role called as employee, that if you assign to any user, that user will have access to HCM related information. So this is what we have to understand. Now we'll go and see how to compare the roles, how to simulate the role, how to copy and edit, how to create the roles from the scratch. That can be job role or duty roles, how to create from the scratch. We'll go through all these points. Right. Let's see how to compare the roles. Take example of payables. We assign different roles to user. We have three roles: accounts payable, manager, supervisor, specialist. In the same in GL also we have seen roles like general accounting manager, general accounting specialist and controller, chief financial officer, financial analyst. This is how we have different roles. If you want to understand how the two roles are different, you can go with a comparison. Say now I want to verify what is the difference between accounts payables manager role and accounts payable specialist. Okay, that you can go and check it. Before we go and check, compare, we'll understand few points. Let's go to security console. Go to security console. In the security console, you can find all the roles. Okay. Here you can go to analytics. These are the complete set of roles. Here your role categories we have. Roles are categorized. Now you can select. Here you can see financial job roles. Finance related job roles we have 79. This 79 Oracle is not provided. We can create our own. System is counting those also. In this instance already how many new roles are created, all system is counting. In total we have 79 roles for financials as job roles. You select job roles, scroll little down, you can see all those. These are the job roles we have for financials. Okay, if you want to search for payables, you can search like accounts. Okay. Now it is listing out all the accounts payable related roles which Oracle is provided as well as what we created. But already we have seen the seeded are only 3. Payables, manager, supervisor and specialist. The same they copied and modified and you can see the list here. So that's how you can verify the roles availability here. Okay. Now let's see how to compare one role with another role. We'll compare accounts payable supervisor with accounts payable specialist or accounts payable manager with a supervisor or specialist. We won't see that. So go to roles. Okay, go to roles. Before you compare those roles, let's find one role. Accounts payable manager. Select one role here. Here now within this role, accounts payable manager role, what are the privileges we have, all you can see here. But this is big mess. There is no clarity here. And if you want to see this with some graphical representation, here you can select show in graph. Okay. The accounts payable manager role, this is the accounts payable manager role. Within the role what we have. Okay. Within the role what we have, you can see. You can just zoom in. You can drag. So within the accounts payable manager, we have a payables invoice processing. This is one of the duty roles. This is one of the duty role. Okay, you can double click on this. You can see inside of that what we have. Okay. Again, this is also difficult. Easily you cannot verify all this. So what the duty role contains all these functionalities. So this is how they given, but there is no great benefit and easily you cannot navigate and easily you cannot verify. That is the best option is we can compare one role with another role. So now we have accounts payable manager role. This role you want to compare with another role. You can go to this actions and you can say compare role. This role you will be able to compare with another role. Or else directly you can click on compare roles. Just directly click on compare roles. What you can do is, once you navigate to this page, and you come to the roles page, directly you can click on compare roles. Which role you want to compare with another role? Only two roles you can select. You cannot compare more than two roles. Okay, click on search. Accounts payable manager. So accounts payable manager role. Say okay. This accounts payable manager role you want to compare with which other role? Search accounts payable specialist. Please go on mute. Say okay. The manager we want to compare with the specialist. How these two roles are different? What variety of privileges these two roles has? How these what privileges? What common privileges these two roles have? What distinct privileges these two roles have? We can check it now. I will selected these two roles. Then click on compare. Okay. Now you can see the type you can ignore. Artifact name is nothing but privilege name. Okay, privilege name. Here you can see accounts payable manager, accounts payable specialist. For example, cancel payable invoices. That is possible if you have access to accounts payable manager role. If you have access to accounts payable specialist, you cannot cancel the payable invoices. The same way you can verify all. There are many privileges. For example, reports. These are the reports. So these are all reports you can run if you have access to accounts payable manager. Okay, if you have access to accounts payable specialist, no permission. So these all reports are there within the accounts payable manager role only. So this role doesn't have access to these all reports. Okay. You can see all the privileges. These all you can export into Excel also. Okay. For example, validate payable invoices. Yes. From any role, you will be able to validate the payable invoices. The invoices which are available, you will be able to validate that privilege is there. Now, this and all you can export into Excel. Here we have export to Excel option. Click on export to Excel. Save it. Open this file. Sorry. This you can remove. Set filter option. Now here you can filter. Okay. Now you want to see only payables manager, which privileges you have. These are the privileges. Now you want to see which privileges this payable specialist has. These are all. This payable specialist, all these privileges. You want to verify the common privileges for these two roles. Here yes. Here also yes. Now these two roles got access to these privileges. Now which user required access to what, you can list out here accordingly. You can create the custom roles, in which role you can copy, which role you can modify, these are all you can plan. Now we'll go to the instance. Here also you can verify. See here, by default it is showing all privileges which are available from two roles. Now I want to know only in the first role, accounts payable manager. Select only in first role. Now the listed privileges are all available only in the first row. See here, all in only first row. Whereas only in the second row, which privileges we have only for specialists which are not available for payables manager. So these are the privileges. So if you notice, payables invoice creation. Invoice creation privilege is not available from payables manager. It is available only for specialist. Done. So if you want to verify what privileges we have in the two roles, you can select in both roles. They are the common privileges for two roles. So from any role you can delete the payable invoice. From any role access, if you have access to any role, you'll be able to edit the payable invoices. You can see other privileges. From any role you can validate the payable invoices. You can check all those. Okay, this is how you can compare the roles. Now let's compare accounts payable manager with a specialist, a supervisor.
Yeah, Lakshman, can I ask a question? So beyond these privileges, there has to be some more base objects which make this privilege,
What is that?
So let's say, there's a privilege called validate payable invoice, right? So that privilege has to have further down other objects, which makes up this privilege, So do we have information for that or no?
I didn't understand what you are saying. See, validate payable. One second. Validate payable invoice is one of the action which we do at the time of invoice creation. That is
right.
given in this role. Okay, in specific role they are giving. If you assign that role to any user, that user will be able to validate the invoice. If you remove that privilege, user may be in the position to create. If user will go to the invoice actions, their validate function won't get displayed. This is the point. What is your question?
Yeah, my question is that, this functionality of validate, journal or whatever the invoice is, behind the scenes, it is associated with, some program or table, right? So that relationship.
That's
has to be
different.
there.
That we don't need to touch. See that. So if you select this, it anyway that is associated with the tables or programs wherever it is applicable, how it should be linked. Okay. Now only the point is that we are trying to set here whether what we want to give as access, what we want to restrict. It is connected with which table. If you do that activity, some program will be triggered. That is a different story. That you cannot manage here. That is a part of development, and how that should happen, how the functionality should work. That's a different story. Here, whatever we have, you want to give access or you want to restrict. Only that we have to understand.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So here also you can verify. See, manager and the supervisor. How these two roles are different. Okay, what are the common privileges in the two roles? What privileges we have only for supervisor, which doesn't, where manager doesn't have access. See here, create payable invoice. If you assign manager role to any user, that user cannot create payable invoices. But if you have access to supervisor role, yes, you will be able to create the payable invoices. You will be able to create the payables payments also. Invoice creation, payment creation is possible from supervisor, but not from manager. That's how the roles were given. Within the role, that's how they given privileges. Okay. So this is how you can compare and you can export and you can analyze. Then you can plan which role is more suitable for which business user, and you can plan and you can decide. If you think some changes need to be done, yes, you can copy and you can modify. Okay. So now we can, let's see how to simulate the role. We'll understand what does it mean by, say, accounts payable specialist. I'm selecting accounts payable specialist role. Now here, if I go to navigator, within the navigator I can find payables. If I click on invoices, it will take us to invoice workbench. In invoice workbench, we have many tasks to perform. But what I want to understand is, because of accounts payable specialist role, this current user is able to access to what from the navigator I want to understand. Okay, I want to simulate. I want to verify the current user is able to have access to what because of this role I want to verify. In that case, find any one of the role, go to actions and say simulate navigator. Okay. Because of this accounts payable specialist role, this user is able to have access to what privileges that system will list out within the navigator. Select. Wait for a second. Yeah. Fine. So here you can select access granted. Now, because of this accounts payable specialist role, this user is able to have access to invoices, not for payments. Click on invoices. Here you can verify view privileges. Select. So this all this user is able to access because of this specialist role. These are the privileges, some reports, actions. Run payables to general ledger reconciliation report. This role doesn't have access. Few other reports also. Submit mass addition create program. This role doesn't have access. Few other also. So this is how you can simulate. You can select another role and you can verify. Say for example, you may select supervisor. Okay, now you can simulate. Because of this accounts payable supervisor role, the current user is able to access to what? You want to check. For other users, you cannot check. For current user only, you can check. This user is able to access invoices and payments because of this accounts payable supervisor. Click on invoices, you can see the detailed privileges. View privileges. So these all privileges this user is able to access because of the role called as accounts payable supervisor. Few things are restricted. Mostly this user is able to access many. In the same way, payments. The view privileges. Few are allowed, few are not allowed. Okay, create payment, manage payment. So what is allowed in this list of the payments related? Here you can see. So this is how you can simulate, but only the point here is you can simulate to current user. If you want to verify for other user, you have to log in from that user, and that user should have access to security console. Then only you will be able to verify. For other users, you cannot simulate to understand. Okay, now we'll see how to copy and edit the role. Say this is a role we have, and we verified what privileges this role has. But as per our business requirement, as per user, we have to modify this role. Okay, we have to modify this role. So how to do that, we'll see. First, we'll copy this role. Okay, so just you can find out any role like this, and you can go to actions, say copy role. Click on copy role. So copy top role and inherited roles. Inherited roles are not required. Just once you say copy role, that will inherited means the other roles whatever connected with the current role, those we call as inherited roles. Those are not required. Just you can say copy top role, copy role. Click on copy role. So what system is doing? It copied which role? Accounts payable supervisor, and it is adding custom. It copied role code as this, and it is adding custom. How it is adding custom? This you can set as a default. When you copy the roles, what prefix or suffix system has to take, we can set in the system. Okay, we can set accordingly. It will pick those values. Here you can go to administration part, select roles tab. You can notice here it is set as a custom. Copied role name prefix. When you copy any role, what should be the role prefix? Okay, nothing. What is the suffix? Custom. When you copy the role, what is the role code prefix? Nothing. Suffix, custom. So this is a whatever you set, accordingly system will take when you copy the roles. Notice this point, you can change accordingly, it will take. Now go to roles. Find out any one of the role. Okay, accounts payable supervisor. Go to actions. say copy role. Let's copy this. Say copy role. Okay, accounts payable supervisor custom. If you want to change, you can change. Instead of keeping it as custom, you can just name it as MX. MX accounts payable supervisor. We copied and now you can modify. So whatever the description we have for the role system copied as this is falling under financial category. Okay, the role category is financials and job role. Just we are copying, we are not changing anything, just we are updating the name. Click on next. Okay, so within this role, these are the privileges we have. Okay, these are the privileges we have. You can click on load inherited policies till it will load if anything is hidden. Just click on load inherited policies. So this role consists of these privileges. You see all. Inside of this role, there are many privileges. If you want to add additional privileges, you can add from here. You can click on add functions security policy. You can add. Say for example, invoice creation is not there in this. You can add it. Invoice creation is one of the duty role. So payable. I think it's invoice. Create.
Actually, we copied from supervisor role, so it's already there in voice creation, I think. In supervisor, it was present.
Sorry?
I am saying, I think we copied from supervisor role. So supervisor role already had the invoice creation privilege, I think.
Yeah, it may have, but it should display. Yeah, it is showing. Create payable invoices. Okay, create payable invoice. This is one of the privilege you can see here title. Okay, this is a you can add. Think this privilege is not there in that role, so select it. Okay, select. What is the privilege name? Create payables invoices. In the role code, you have as a PRIV privilege. So what this privilege will do, it will allow you to create the invoices in the Fusion Payables application. Now you can add this privilege to current role which you copied. Add it. Add it. The same way, create payables payment. This is another privilege. Think this privilege is not there in that. You can add it. Or I'll say validate payables invoice. Say this privilege is not there in that role. You can add it. Here. Under privilege, whatever you have, you should have to select that one. And you can add it. Say a few reports you want to add into this. Submit. Please go on mute. So submit payables invoice aging report. We want to include this report access into this role. Add it. One second. Under privilege, what we have, you have to select. Add it. The same with few other reports. The submit people invoice register. Here also select. Please go on mute. Done. So this is how you can add. If you want to remove something, yes, you can remove from here. You can select this. Okay, certain privilege you can select and you can delete, or else you have a next step. Click on next. Here you don't need to touch anything. We are under data security policies. This Oracle is providing, you have to accept as it is. Means this role can have access to what? This is a BU specific application. Payables means it stands at BU level as per enterprise structure. So that is the reason it should be connected to business unit and subledger, etc. They given those you don't need to touch. And click on next. We'll go to role hierarchy. Click on next. Yes. So from here also you can add few privileges. Add role. You can add any privileges. You can add few additional reports again. Submit. Payables. Payables. Payment register. Added. This is how you can add. If you want to remove something, you can remove. Okay. So here you want to remove that report what you added. Select submit payable invoice aging report and you can delete. Anything, not only you added, whatever available within this role, there are many privileges. Anything you want to just remove, you can remove. So for example, payables payment creation. You don't want to allow this role people to create the payments. You can select this and you can click on delete. Okay. You are about to delete. You want to continue? Yes. Delete it. This is how you can add or you can delete the privileges within this. Then click on next. Okay, now this is a job role, right? So this you can assign to user directly from here itself, or else you can go to the user page and you can assign, or else the new role. Okay, how we create a new role? We copied and we modified. Okay, the role name is Amex Accounts Payable Supervisor. If you want to assign to any user, you can assign. From here itself, we assign the role to the user. Click on next. Say submit and close. Okay, done. So this is how we can copy and we can edit. Okay, we can copy and do edit here. Just we are copying the role and we are modifying as per our requirement. Now we'll see edit role. Now here you can see this role prefix is ORA. If any role code prefix is ORA, you cannot edit. We'll test. Select edit role. Click on next. You have option to edit. No. Freezed. You cannot add anything. You cannot delete also anything. If ORA prefix is not there, you can do that. Say for example, general accounting manager. Here we have general accounting manager, general accountant. For everything we have ORA prefix. If ORA prefix is there in the role code, you cannot edit. Only the option is you can copy and edit as per your requirement. Try to edit. Click on next. Nothing. Add functional security policies are freezed. So that's what we have to understand. In any role code is starting with OR as a prefix. So that cannot be modified. Okay, only copied roles you can modify, or else already whatever the roles you created as a custom, those can be modified. Now here we have one role, somebody copied and created as a custom. This you can edit. The code is not starting with OR here. Click on edit. Next. You can add if you want to add, you can remove if you want to remove. Possible. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll see how to create the one duty role. By including the duty role, how to create the job role we'll see. Okay. Here first we'll see how to create the duty role. Duty role you cannot assign to user directly. Against the duty role you have to create the job role, then only you can assign. Then create job role. First we'll see how to create the duty role from the scratch. Then we'll see how to create the job role from the scratch. So once we navigate to this roles page.
Lakshman, it's already 9:20.
Yeah.
It's already 9:20 time.
Today is Saturday, right? Yeah, we are running around 10 o'clock. We'll finish in 5 minutes.
Today there is extra class.
We'll finish in 5 minutes.
Okay.
So click on create role. Okay, roles. Click on create role. Here you can give the role name. I want to create the duty role. Okay. Duty role we cannot assign to the user. Duty role will be part of job role. Say I want to give the name as Amex invoice creation duty role. Amex invoice creation duty. Role category you can give as a financial duty role. In this, what we are going to have invoice creation, validation, editing invoice, and deleting invoice. You can include what you want to include within the duty role. Then click on next. Now here you can say add function security policies. If you want to add specific policies, you can add here. Say validate payable invoice. Okay, privilege. Add it. To create payable invoice. Add it. Or I'll say edit payable invoice. Add it. I will delete payable invoice. Add it. This is how you can add. Or else instead of adding all these one by one, you can add one duty role directly into this. Duty role you can add. Payables, invoice, creation. This is one of the duty role you can see. Within this duty role, you will have many privileges like this. Okay, you can just add it. Fine. So payables, invoice creation. If I add within this, how many privileges we have, all system will list out. Selecting. Say add selected privileges. Within the duty role, how many privileges we have, all system added here. Say big list. If you don't need certain privileges, you can remove. So this is not required. Delete it. This is not required. Delete it. You can add one by one privileges, or else you can add duty role into the custom duty role what you are creating. You can modify. That's how you can create brand new duty role. Okay, this is how you may delete and you can add. Now click on next. Here you don't need to add anything, just next, next, next. Next. Say save and close. We create one duty role. Now this duty role you cannot assign to any user directly. On top of it, you have to create the job role. Okay, you have to create the job role. We'll create the job role. During the job role creation, we will select this duty role. Amex invoice creation duty role. This we have to include in the job role. That job role you can assign to user so that that user can have access to whatever we have in this duty role through job role. Role is created. You can check here. Amex. Okay. Amex invoice creation duty role. It is coming under duty roles. Okay, when we copy it, this is a job role we create. That's different. Now let's create one job role. Say create role. Say Amex AP invoice creation job role. Just for our identification purpose, I am giving the job role also in the name itself. Amex AP invoice creation job. What we want to create job role. Financials job role. So what you want to include in this? You may write as a description. Invoice creation, etc., etc. You can write. Click on next. Now say add function security policies. Now this is the job role. In the job role directly you can add the privileges also. Okay, it is not required you have to add only duty role. Direct privileges also you can add, or else you can add the duty role. Our duty role name is Amex invoice creation duty role. Select. Within this, what are the privileges we have? All will be listed here. Now, at this point of time also, you will be able to edit. If you want to remove, you can remove. You don't want to allow the users to delete the invoices. Remove here. Okay, create, okay. Some other information. You don't want to allow the specific role people to apply and apply prepayments. Remove this, delete this. This is all. Okay. When you create the duty role, you can do the changes. Once you select the duty role, whatever system is defaulting as a privileges, those also you can update, you can remove or you can add when you are creating the job role. This is how you can do some changes. You can add few reports, access, etc. Then click on next. Then we are in the data security policies. Now this role can be accessed by what? BU. Okay, AP means BU level it stands. So we have to add data security policies here. Say create data security policy. Policy name you can give as a BU. BU need to be connected to this role. Database resources business unit. Okay, select business unit. And here data set. You don't need to map this role to specific BU ID. Okay, not required. Here you can go to all values. All values means this role will have access to all the business units. Ideally, that is not required. Here, what you can do is you can select by instance set. Data set you can select as a select by instance set. Here you can give the condition. So here you can specify, like this is what you can do. Access the business units for which the user is explicitly authorized. Select this value. If you want to allow the user to have access to all the business units, okay, you can select relevant set. Okay. So access the business units for this for the business units which they are authorized. It means user is authorized. You can select this or you can select this. Authorized only can be selected. Select this. That means whatever the business units will assign to this user, this role, those business units only this role will access. If you say here all values, this role will have access to all the business units by default. That is not correct. So whenever you create this custom roles, your data set you can select as select by instance set. There you can select the condition as authorized. Okay. Whatever the BUs are assigning to this role, those roles only system has to access. Basically, these actions are not required here. They made it as mandatory. You can select any one of the relevant action. What user can perform that already we included in the role itself. Here you no need to set, but this they made it as a mandatory. Select any one of the relevant action. Since we are dealing with the payables, you can enable any one of the payables related action. Say manage payable invoices. Just any one of the action you have to select, then system will accept. Say okay. Then click on next. Just click on next. Now we are creating the job role, not duty role, right? Just click on next. Now this role can be assigned to user. Any user you can assign. So add roles, add user role. Cancel. Click on next. Say save and close. So this is how you can create the role from the scratch, or else you can copy and edit. Okay. So this and all you can try in the security console, which is related to roles. You can compare one role with another role, right? We have seen how to compare, how to simulate, how to copy and edit, how to create the duty or job roles from the scratch. Okay, when you are creating, you can select another duty role and you can modify or else select privileges one by one. Job role level, you can select duty role and you can create job role. Otherwise, you can completely ignore duty role. The job role itself, you can select the privileges. Okay. So that's all we can do. So that's all about role part. You try from your mind. Okay, try to do all those. Discuss. So that's all about role customization. Whatever custom roles. That's all about the custom roles. You understand? Yeah. So we done for today. Okay, we'll connect tomorrow same time. So since few guys,
Sir, good morning, sir.
one second. They said like they need some time to practice. I'm not going to take 3 hour session tomorrow. Just we'll spend just 1 hour 30 minutes only tomorrow. Hope that won't disturb your practice plans. So tomorrow we'll run the session only for 1 hour or max 1 hour 30 minutes. Then we'll wind up. So we done for today. If you have any questions, you can stay back or else no discussions.